It's your boy Tony in the Game Caviar Studios. Real quick before we get into this episode, I want to just give you guys some updates and tell you what's going on here at Pod Caviar. We have this episode right now is a listening party of a project that I did. It's going to be explained. I don't want to get into it too deep right now, but it's really awesome. I'm working on getting it uploaded to YouTube and all these other places. I'll probably just add it as an episode all to itself because I want it to be absorbed and I want it to be enjoyed in its entirety. So we're going to get into that in the episode that's going to start here in a second. But next week, I have a really good episode about mental health and how it's often it's often overlooked in America, and it has been for years. And I have a very compelling story that shows how even especially at work, when you work in an environment that pushes you to the limit, these are the type of things that can happen and have happened before. So it's going to be awesome. Also, Short Caviar is doing really good. That's shortcaviar.com. There have been a lot of updates to the 2018 collection. Right now I'm focusing on the women's boutique. I've added a lot of exclusive women's clothing and designs, and it's just going to get bigger. There are some really big updates that are coming down near the end of the year. It's going to be amazing. So check out Short Caviar. Check out 1 Gram Army. If you haven't subscribed to Pod Caviar or 1 Gram Army, please do so right now. And as always, 443-747-1417 is the number to get in touch with Pod Caviar. You can text, you can call, leave a message, and I will definitely, and I mean definitely, review everything. And if it's good, then I will talk about it on air. I love interacting with fans, and I love hearing what you guys have to say. So without taking away from this episode, let's get into it. This is the listening party for my project, The Final Instructions. Welcome to Pod Caviar. Man, we have a special treat. Graham is in the building. 1 Gram Army.
Always.
Yeah. And for the past week, I have been working on a nice project. It's kind of a continuation to the end of episode 1, the Babushka Lady. After the podcast, I put together a nice composition. And I have expanded on that and made a whole project about it. And it goes to speak on religion in general and how you can have a by the book or you can have a completely radical. Some of the voices and some of the excerpts that you hear, you may recognize. If not, we will definitely have a nice little summary. Maybe not this episode, but maybe next episode where Graham and I will talk about it. And because I want to know what he thinks. He hasn't heard the project.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to say about my involvement in this is I considered doing it as an episode of my podcast, but obviously it's a creation of yours, and I haven't heard it yet.
Right.
I intentionally did not listen to it until today. And I also thought it would be, it's a very festive thing. It's right before Labor Day.
Yeah.
I feel like the 2 podcasts we've done today, one of the 1 Gram Army and one of Pod Caviar, will be distinctly different, and then this one comes along with I think it's a celebration. It comes along to me with something that I'm pretty excited to hear, because me and you made music years ago. Essentially how we know you. I mean, we've known each other for a long time, right? Have we ever told the story about me japping on that guy?
I think we touched on it briefly. It was last Veterans Day.
Yeah, it was.
But it was brief though. It was brief.
So we don't have to get into it. That's a good cliffhanger story of how we actually met like the first time we met. We were like, I like that guy.
Hell yeah. It was wild. It was crazy.
But I mean, years and years and years ago, we made music together, and a lot of it. A lot. And whether it's still relevant or valid or listenable today, some may over another. Maybe we'll do another podcast about that.
Might sometime. As well,
But I was just excited to hear that you were doing something else creative, you know, and it's something that inspired me, and I like the idea of like using that free time to create something. And you made an album of music with what is clearly a really crazy premise. Like you've got
it's wild.
These speeches and sermons and scriptures and blah 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 all in on it. I'm really
we can listen to it and then we can come back and discuss it after that and we can go track by track and I would just walk you through my thought process.
Absolutely.
And it's awesome.
And I think, just like let me have it for right now.
Oh yeah.
And when you get ready to do it, I'll set the mood in here.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely trippy.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I have no doubt. There's no apprehension in my mind that I'm going to be punished for 30 minutes because I know that whatever you did is well orchestrated.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna enjoy. I'm super excited, man. I'm glad there's not a video because I look super gay about how excited I am.
Well,
to hear some music that one of us made.
Yeah, let's jump into it, man.
Right,
this is Pod Caviar, and the album is called The Final Instructions.
Yeah, I remember this one bothered me. Yeah. I thought you had dead space at the end of your podcast.
That's why I put it in there.
George Osborne, the chance.
They haven't got a pill to increase your faith. They haven't got a pill to increase your confidence. They got a pill to relieve suffering, but they ain't got a pill to alleviate suffering. But Jesus said, "Come who are weak and are weary, and I will give you rest. Lay your burdens down, and I will give you an easy yoke, an easy burden. Following me, my joy and my walk is light. I carry the burden of sin and mistake, and I give you a clean start. I've been vindicated by the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I still got a prison. I still got a record in the police station. I think after 10 or 15 years it's wiped out. But with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I've been vindicated, the past, present and future mistakes. And I can look the world in the eye and say thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ, I can live again, I can breathe again. I don't have to go to the dirty water and drink the drugs, all that to get a little bit of respite. Respite is found in the Lord Jesus Christ. Peace, satisfaction and joy unbounding is found in Jesus. Do you know where I come from?
Or in old language, a couple thousand years ago.
Before this one starts, first of all, bravo, sir.
Thank you.
Bravo. That was absolute insanity. I loved it. Yeah, and anyone who hasn't heard it, it was at the end of the. It was. I know you mentioned it was episode 1, but it was of season 2. So it's not episode 1 of
right episode season 2 episode 1.
People should be able to find it. It's on an episode of which episode of 1 Gram Army was it?
Not this Not the last one you posted. Was it the one before that? Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter because it's here now, and that's what's wonderful.
Right.
That's really what I meant was that like we've played that a couple times, and I like it.
Hell yeah.
It's good. I really enjoy that. It's interesting too though because it's someone I don't know where exactly you got the clip from, but just from what I hear, it's clearly like a street side sort of revival situation, but with a guy with a West London accent. Like that guy sounds like a proper like West Ham football hooligan,
right?
And the way they say things has a really interesting impact, like a real interesting way of hearing. But hearing that accent in that tone say that is fantastic.
It's powerful, yeah. It really set the tone for the whole project, man, the whole album. And it's
absolutely.
It's crazy.
But there is something about hearing that, hearing him yell about the redemption of Jesus, like your redemption with Jesus, but also he sounds like he's like, fucking Chelsea, stab the law from whatever. Like, like he's like,
so much conviction and powerful. Yeah,
it's intense.
Oh, yeah.
And it's powerful. It sounds, when those guys talk like that too, it sounds almost like they're trying to talk like that. They're not. That's how, but it's like such an effort to speak English that way.
Yeah.
To put it out.
Right. Exactly.
Like when you speak English that way,
right? It's
a lot of effort.
It is.
And I thought that was fantastic, though. So and I'm excited for what's coming next. I didn't mean to interrupt the listening party that for that long, but I like it.
Hell yeah!
That's why.
Or in old language, a couple thousand years ago, disciples, those who are trying to prepare themselves for entry into the evolutionary level above human, synonymous with the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. We're going to talk to you about the most urgent thing that is on our mind, and what we suspect is the most urgent thing on the minds of those who will connect with us. Season. They have their beginning, they have their end, they have cycles. We're not saying that planet Earth is coming to an end. we're saying that planet Earth is about to be
refurbished, spaded under, and have another chance to serve as a garden for another human.
Now you keep saying us. Who do you think you are? Well, I, in all honesty, must acknowledge my father. My father is not a human father. My father is a member of the evolutionary level above human.
The kingdom of God. The kingdom of heaven. That kingdom of heaven. That kingdom of God. The kingdom of God. The kingdom of heaven. That kingdom of heaven. That kingdom of God. That kingdom of heaven. That kingdom of God.
I didn't want to interject, and I'm not going to after this.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm not going
Jesus is God.
pause this.
Y'all need to get the
please.
baptism of the Holy Ghost. And you're going to get that by going to a...
Oh my goodness. You took me on a ride, sir.
Yeah.
Took me on a ride.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
2 more tracks.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I want to start making some music again. You've set the bar.
Yeah.
I can't do any bullshit.
No. Oh no.
And this is amazing.
Thank you.
That
Mm-hmm.
was amazing.
Yeah.
There'll be some times in this house where I'm gonna like be in a dark room listening to that,
Oh yeah.
watching colors swirl.
Once I put all this
was-
together, dude, I was listening to it for the past 2 days since it was done
Yeah.
repeatedly.
You've done something there. I can't believe that's the second one.
Right.
I'm ready.
All right.
Come on. Fuck, yeah,
The Holy
fuck
Ghost
us, come
church and going to the altar
on.
and spending
People
time
should listen to
there
it
in the
and
presence
develop
of
their own
God.
opinions.
It's how I cope with trials. But a person with no values and no faith in God has got no strength. And a nation with no values other than their own values are rubbish. And Jesus said, if you have salt, you need to have salt in you, value in you. That's where we get the Roman saying, you're not worth the salt. Jesus quoted it. Have salt in you. And if you're not no salt in you, he said, you're not fit for anything but the bounty. See, God doesn't need his word.
Que a palavra de Jesus chamou a atenção de um homem chamado Zaqueu. Zaqueu era um homem ao qual se encontrava distanciado da comunidade judaica pelo seu proceder, pela sua forma de vida, mas a Bíblia diz que naquele dia Jesus tinha marcado um encontro com Zaqueu. E a Bíblia diz, ao terminar a cidade, a palavra de Deus nos mostra que a palavra de Jesus chamou a atenção de um homem chamado Zaqueu. Zaqueu era um homem ao qual se encontrava distanciado da comunidade judaica pelo seu proceder, pela sua forma de vida, mas a Bíblia diz que naquele dia Jesus tinha marcado um encontro com Zaqueu. E a terminar a cidade, a palavra de Deus nos mostra que a palavra de Jesus chamou a atenção de um homem chamado Zaqueu. Zaqueu era um homem ao qual se encontrava distanciado da comunidade judaica pelo seu proceder, pela sua forma de vida, mas a Bíblia diz que naquele dia Jesus tinha marcado um encontro.
You did all that ambience and all that.
That was a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
In the background and
Yeah.
everything, and just you layered it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so wet.
There's a lot of layering.
This bitch is bad. So
Oh yeah. Thank you.
fuck. This thing is sick. This is good.
Yeah.
Like, this is like good. Listen, if you're still here later, like after we eat and have some more to drink and get more mellow, we might do another episode of my podcast where we discuss this.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
There's a part of me that doesn't want to risk
You can follow your politician.
people listen to my podcast not hearing this.
Yeah.
Who gives a moral lead to this man?
Otherwise, just leave it with me and I'll do it at some point.
church
But
is
either way,
supposed
we
to.
might do it
Either way,
tonight.
Where's
yeah.
the washout? Your politician. He's not expected to. He's expected to govern.
Oh, and if people are zoning out and are, like, hey, you're interrupting these incredibly wonderful psychedelic audio moments, well, that's because you need to go just listen to this at the other place if you don't want to listen to us do it.
Right.
If you're in that level of a zone.
Yeah.
This is the listening party with the creator and the appreciator. Pause that for 1 second. I interject something here.
Yeah.
That clapping wood sound.
Yeah.
I went to a Zen center once in Chicago, and when you sit in the room to meditate, if you're in a room with other people and you're kind of learning to meditate, that clapping wood sound is something they use to sort of like snap you, like
What? I didn't know
into
that.
these like more transcendental
Really?
mental states. Yeah, they'll come by too with this flat piece of wood that's like, it looks kind of like an incense burner. It's sort of that shape, but a little bit bigger. And they'll like whack you on the shoulder with it. Not like hard, not like, but you'll also feel it.
Yeah.
Like it'll be true. It'll be like, boom. And they'll whack you with it on your shoulder, and they'll whack you on the other shoulder.
Damn.
But the whole time they're going around too, and then they do it to the other person. You hear them coming to you. You hear them going away.
Yeah.
And all the time though, and I don't know what the fuck your motivation was for this, or why my brain is like being transported back to this moment of meditation.
Right.
That clapping sound is constant too. That
Yeah.
there's a lot of sounds of that nature, and like bells too.
Yeah.
In those like Eastern Zen religions too.
Yeah.
But like when your eyes are closed and you are really like truly in this like meditative state, those sounds echo.
Damn.
And through like they echo through time and space because you're so deep in your thought,
right?
That like, and you're refusing to open your eyes,
right?
That at that point you've sunk to this like meditative state.
That's crazy.
Where those sounds have a profound effect,
yeah,
on your being, and you genuinely like release endorphins or hormones or whatever. DMT sometimes maybe that some people say is released from your pineal gland in small amounts to where that's why like when your eyes are closed, you're in that meditative state, you can kind of see colors swirling and
I've done that before. Yeah.
Things of that nature. Damn. And that's maybe why. But that I don't, like I said, I don't know what your motivation was.
I just wanted that sound. Something popped in my head and was like, you got to use it. And I almost covered it up with song with a
you
music,
use that sound a bunch.
Yeah.
But see, that's what's crazy about that being a common thread through your record.
Yeah.
And the whole, so outside of that, I'd heard the first track a number of times at this point, but as it like faded from that, I was like, oh, this is, I mean, that was poignant when I heard that sound. And that's sort of where I've been mentally listening to this record.
Good.
It's very important.
Hell yeah.
Do you mind if I stop it here so I can pee? And then
I gotta
come
pee
back?
too. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
And once again, thank you for tuning in to our listening party of my newest project, The Final Instructions, that will be available, widely available here in the next week or so. Be sure to subscribe to 1 Gram Army and Pod Caviar, and also check out Shirt Caviar. It's my business. It's a lot of good designs, graphic t-shirts. I have things for men and women. As I said earlier, right now I'm focusing on the women's boutique and a lot of things out there for the ladies, just in time for the holidays. Yeah. Anyway, 443-747-1417 is the number to get in touch with Pod Caviar. You can text, you can call, I don't care. I get it all, and I'll put it on the air. So hit me up. Let's see what you got. Before we get back into the second half of this listening party, I want to again say thank you to all the fans, all the Cavamaniacs out there. Listen, Pod Caviar would not be the most widely available podcast in the world if it wasn't for fans like you, and I appreciate it. I cannot stress that enough. So let's get back into this listening party. It's amazing, and it's been a while since I've made music, so hell, I was happy to just get into it. And you'll see how on the second half, I just take it up to another notch. So here's the second part. Enjoy it, and then I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
We don't want you anymore. We don't want you anymore. We don't want you anymore. We don't want you anymore.
The
We don't want you anymore.
That's it. It healed the eye. It healed the eye that was lost to sight, and it healed the tumor. Is she happy today? Is she here? Right here. There she is. Blessed, blessed, blessed. So sweet. I presume that was she, but I wanted to be sure. It's just wonderful. These are the kind of testimonies that are coming in by the hundreds, where the picture becomes a contact. And something certainly much easier if you visualize God working through someone. I was so thrilled that they took the picture of Bishop Crane, because I want to look at that picture as I saw the emanation of truth working through him. People say, why do you use pictures? Well, you can see what God's using when you're using a picture. You can visualize the thing that has brought life to you. And I looked upon Bishop Crane's face, and down through the years, we're going to be able to enjoy the emanation of principle that worked through that man. It thrilled my soul and stirred my spirit when I heard him proclaim how he had a $65,000 home and had all these clothes, alligator shoes. But then when he came back from the dead, when the Spirit brought him back from the dead, and he was beckoned back, he gave his clothes away, he gave his shoes away, and he went down in the ghettos. And his church said, we don't want you anymore. You can go in the ghettos, but we don't want you or the people. And he walked away from a $1,500 salary. He would not compromise. He walked away from the biggest church, a presidency or treasurership of the whole state of Texas. He walked away from it all and said, I must see Jesus. I want a picture of somebody that is an instrument of God like that. And that's why people find healings through these pictures by the untold tens of thousands, because they have seen, their eye hath seen, their ear hath heard, their heart has been stirred. They have seen the emanation of the hundredfold God manifesting through this temple. And it triggers a faith in them, and it quickens their spirit, and it causes their mortal bodies to put on immortality. It causes...
We don't want you anymore.
Nothing happens just, nothing just happens, everything happens just. Nothing happens.
Can you stop this?
Just, nothing just happens, everything happens just.
Okay, I do want to say that as like someone who like weirdly obsessed over Jonestown for a big chunk of his life and still does from time to time.
Right.
I have to go back and be like, what? I am going to be invested in whatever this is about to be. All right. I just wanted to mention that ahead of time.
It's basically a very condensed start to finish timeline of Jim Jones as he rise to in the end.
Maybe one day we'll do a whole podcast about that. But
we can do that. Yeah.
Anyone who's interested, please go just find out about Jonestown.
Please do.
I don't have anything else to interject. Started all the way back from the beginning.
All right,
But for some reason, I felt like personally between me and you, I wanted to make that caveat as to how much I'm going to absorb of this particular piece.
Oh, you're going to love it. I already knew you were.
Insane.
You're going to fucking love it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good.
Nothing happens just, nothing just happens, everything happens just. Nothing happens just, nothing just happens, everything happens just. Nothing happens just. Nothing just happens. Everything happens just. Someone had me very busy, needed to talk to me about something, so I just went into the drawer and picked out a pair of shorts and put it on, and they had the needle fixed with some poison on the end of it so that it would just touch the cheek and go in, and I knew right then what someone was up to. But I want you to know I've not been off my feet. Oh. Nothing happens just. Nothing just happens. Everything happens just. At this time we will receive our offering. Would you do me the kind favor, because I'm not feeling my fingers or my lips, and I'm speaking somehow, I don't know how. But it's a kind of a strange feeling that I went through. First it was vomitus and enormous pain, gastric pain, but as I said, it never caused me to get off my feet. You say, well, why do they do that to you? My, do you need to ask why they do that to me?
They that live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. They shall revile you. They shall say all manner of things falsely against you. They shall do unto them everything that they wish to do, and even kill you, thinking they do God a service. And if you're not getting persecution, you're not living godly. So I have my credentials. What about you? If you're not getting persecution, you ought to ask why. Because when you live for truth, you'll be persecuted. And if you're not getting persecuted, you're not living the just life. You're not in the body of Christ, the body of this revolution.
Make yourself God, the 10th chapter of John. And he said, it is written, all of you are gods. He said, I'm no different than you. Everybody's a God. So Jesus is God. I am God. You are God. That if it is time for me to lay down my body, I will, but all the king's horses and all the king's men cannot bring me down until the time has come. Listen, all ye scoffers and poisoners, we're feeling good in the house of Jones today. Out of the voice of Jesus himself. Jesus was a wayshore to teach people how to live, to get their head out of the sand or out of the sky. He said, don't pray to go to heaven. And even Paul said, don't look up to go to heaven. He said, the righteous faith saith on this wise, the word, heaven, God, is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thine heart. Don't say who will go up to heaven and bring him down, or who shall go into the deep and bring him up from the grave. But what saith it? The word is within thee. Heaven is on earth. That's the only heaven you'll find. God is here. That's the only God you'll know. When we face a depression, the people that are the most unemployed, the greatest social problems, they're the ones that are going to go. It'll never happen to me. Oh, get off of it. The Jews, capos that sold out the Jews, they reserved the worst fate for them. They castrated them, made them eat their own gonads. If they didn't kill them, they sent them on to Israel so that the Haganah would kill them. All those Jews that worked so faithfully to sell out their brothers and sisters. And I got some Uncle Toms and Aunt Janes in here. Say, I'm all right. The man likes me, you good house nigger. You just so good. You're just such a good house nigger. When they brought that snake in here the other day, that rattler brought him in here and dropped it and just biting, hissing mad. All the people can tell you in Redwood Valley, I've got that snake tamed. It won't kill anything anymore because I don't like killing. I don't even kill anything to eat. And that snake eats egg right out of my hand. He didn't like it. He fussed and hissed and I said, you cut that out. And I'd spank his little belly. And now he just crawls around. He's 5.5 foot long. He crawls around and lays on my shoulder. Any place people can handle him. Anyone can touch him now. Why would you worry about a little green snake when you got all these white two-legged devils running loose? And a whole lot of black ones, too. A whole lot of brown ones. At least it's the most reasonable thing that I find to believe. If you're going to get involved with religion, reincarnation is the most reasonable thing to believe in. Otherwise, God is a dirty old man that ought to be raped. Yeah, maybe that might straighten out the sky god. I don't know. And I don't know. That was a Freudian slip that some of you psychologists in my midst will have to analyze. Most sex, they say, is oriented in violence, so maybe there's something to that.
And I'll kill for this cause.
I would kill.
And I'll kill for this cause.
I would kill.
And I'll kill for this cause.
I would kill. I am Joanne Davis. I'm a violent revolutionary. I have the ways and the means to do it.
Thank you, Dad.
With that, with the green tea in, please. Bring it here so the adults can begin. Beg you, don't fail to follow my advice. You'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. That we do it than that they do it. Must trust you. You have to step across. We used to think this world's not our home. Well, it sure isn't. As we were saying, it sure wasn't. He doesn't want to tell him. All he's doing, if they will tell him, assure these children. Some people assure these children of the relaxation of stepping over to the next plane. We've set an example for others. We've set 1,000 people who say we don't like the way the world is. He's done. Take our life from us. We laid it down. We got tired. We didn't commit suicide. We committed an act of revolutionary suicide, protesting the conditions of an inhumane world.
So there.
Yeah. That's it.
I roller coastered
right
through that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that way more than any of the 30-minute 7-track albums I've been getting from people who are allegedly the greatest manipulators of sound in the world.
Right. Yeah.
This was
unbelievable, right?
Damn. I mean, don't call your own shit unbelievable. You should be humbly be like, it's this.
No.
I'm
glad that you enjoyed it that much. You know, I mean, it's
unfucking believable.
Right.
It's incredible. It's great. And I mean, but like on like a bunch of levels, like it's not like as like a surface painting of it. Mm-hmm. It's not unbelievable as a surface painting of it that also defies space and time and theology. I mean, it was incredible. It wasn't necessarily a musical project, I guess, is what I was.
Yeah, it's more of a, what you say, it was more of an experience.
Yeah, it's an audio fucking painting.
Yeah.
That's what I said about the first thing that we'd heard a few times.
And that's what I was going after, really.
But it was also like poignant. I mean, it was deep as hell.
Yeah.
The ending with Jonestown, especially for me, was huge. Like I thought that was
that and
you had the sermons too in there where he says things that are transcendent.
Yeah,
where it was like, oh, nothing just happens.
Yeah,
and nothing just happens.
Right.
You know, and he's like, oh, well, you know, there's all this racial injustice. This is a construct of the government that wants to control us. Look at us all in this room, black and white, whatever, all getting along.
Yeah.
You know, here's what Jesus said, but here's what I say.
Right, and it was that slippery slope.
And if you consider when Jim Jones began delivering that message, like at the height of the sort of disillusionment with the civil rights movement that people experienced at that, like in the early 70s, it was very easy for someone to prey on that. And it I guess maybe it's one of the things that's so, to me, understated, like it's underdeveloped and underinvestigated, but to me is the thing that makes it such, it adds a level of darkness to it, is that like what Jim Jones was preaching was pretty solid.
Yeah.
And it would be, I could, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, I could see myself being like, oh, okay, finally we're done with all of this.
Yeah.
We're just these people, you know, all existing under the same umbrella. And even this guy's like, Jesus is kind of a silly character, isn't he? I'm Jim Jones, follow me.
Yeah.
And then
what happened?
He takes them to French Guiana, to South America, turns them all to conspiracy theorists, and like starts telling all these stories about himself being persecuted. And then proceeds. It's another thing about Jonestown too, is that it's dismissed like those Hale-Bopp Comet people, where like they, you know, voluntarily committed that suicide. They were all equally insane.
That was a dude from Trek 2.
Yeah,
the founder of Heaven's Gate. Yeah,
and Jim Jones, though, him and his people murdered a lot of people, and they made sure they gave that poison to babies first.
Yeah.
Because it made it so the parents were like, well, I'm not going to.
Yeah. He said it was going to be like an easy transition. Cyanide is not an easy transition at all. No. It burns.
No, those people suffered. You hear screaming, moaning, children crying.
You picked up on it when it was real low.
I picked up on it at a point where other people may not pick up on it.
Yeah.
You know, as I was like holding my headphones to my ears. And a couple times I took them off because I knew where we were going.
Yeah.
The end of the record with the FBI tapes of Jim Jones. And I've listened to those. As a matter of what's really crazy is back when we were making music, I don't know if you remember, but I used to like talk about it sometimes. I mean,
you did. Yeah.
Nuts. Yeah. I think I even mentioned it on a song.
Yeah.
Because it was something that stuck with me that was so crazy. And I had listened to that, and then you left that last part of the tape where you can't quite tell what's going on, but you listen for it.
Right.
And you ran it through all those filters and all of that.
Yeah.
Beautiful fucking work, man. That thing is amazing.
All on GarageBand, which is not the easiest program to use.
No, but it's just the same thing. Though. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit if you painted it on rocks. That shit was fantastic.
Yeah, but it goes to show how much I was really into it in the whole project in itself, because I wanted to, like I said, tell a story. Like you said, you know, you tell the story. I told the story, and I wanted to do that, and I didn't want to shy away from that.
Yeah.
So
and you left it open for interpretation too.
Exactly.
Which is basically what the entire thing is, people being left left open for interpretation for their own means.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's religion in itself, you know. So
it's fucking nuts. That was dope.
Thank you.
Unbelievable, sir. All right. Well, you fucking sign off, or you know.
Yeah. Thank you for going through this journey. The project, the final instructions will be uploaded
Fantastic.
soon. Graham is a big fan of it.
Where will it be available?
I want to get it on SoundCloud, and I want to see where else I can upload it. It definitely will be
Google
on
Play and such.
Really?
Yeah, I could reach out to T Flizzy or one of those other guys I know, because all of their music's on iTunes.
Okay,
Google Play. I have a feeling it's probably similar to an RSS feed situation.
Yeah,
probably. But either way, this is pretty good, and you can definitely at least put it on your website where you could download it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah,
it's not the fucking.
I'll probably put it on Bandcamp and everything too. But I'll populate the list and everything and let everybody know.
It's hard. You know. Yeah, it's not the club mix of the year, but if you want to go deep, you got 30 minutes to go deep. That's crazy too.
Yeah,
you can take that trip in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
damn.
Oh yeah,
that was nuts.
Hell yeah. But
Beautiful.
yeah, thank you for listening, and subscribe to Pod Caviar if you haven't already, and subscribe to 1 Gram Army. And again, thank you all for supporting us from day one. I'm out.